So in this video we will talk about Storytel's new feature called AI Narrators. That is actually some AI voices that you can choose between when listening to books. You have actually the original narrator, a human voice, still available to choose from, or you can swipe left or right to choose different AI narrators. That is a nifty feature because then if you don't like the original narrator, the real human voice, then you can choose a AI voice instead. That is at least for now. I think this feature will also be for books that doesn't have any human talking for that book. It will be a cheaper way for booksellers and book producers to have audiobooks for their ebooks, for example. But instead of me talking, let's see what they are saying themselves by clicking on one of the books here. Grimm.
Hello there. My name is Henry. I am one of Storytel's new AI narrators. My voice has been generated by state-of-the-art AI technology, and I have been trained to narrate audiobooks in a pleasant and human-like way. The story you picked is a modern retelling of the classic tale of Hansel and Gretel, in which two young siblings, as a result of unimaginable desperation, are left by their parents to starve in the middle of a dark and eerie forest. Perfect for the really brave young readers between 12 and 15. When you start listening, you will find a new control in the user interface that lets you switch between listening to the great original narration by Andrew Wincott and either mine or some of the other AI narrator colleagues of mine's narrations. Simply swipe to switch narrator until you find one of your liking. We call this new feature Voice Switcher, and it is currently an early beta version that you can find on some of our best English Storytel original stories. As the technology improves, we hope to enable this on many more books and languages in the future. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the book. Hello there. My name is Henry.
So that was an explanation of these new AI narrators. And as you heard, you can choose from different voices when listening. So, for example, if we start listening to this book.
You are listening to Hansel and Gretel by Benny Bodker and Kenneth Bogg Anderson, narrated by me, Henry, one of Storytel's AI narrators. Hansel and Gretel by the Brothers Grimm, retold by Kenneth Bogg. Some stories are so loathsome, they almost shouldn't be told. This is such a story, and it begins on the edge of a great forest.
So now, with that AI voice, we can now switch to the original voice to compare.
It begins in a little house.
In a little house, where an impoverished woodcutter lives with his family. It begins after the moon has come up, with two hungry children lying in their beds,
trying to fall asleep. But most of all, it begins with the children's mother, with a voice that can be heard in the darkness.
I don't know about you, but I think the AI voice sounds better actually than the original voice in this case. So if we now start to change different AI voices to compare them.
Gretel was so hungry, her stomach ached. It felt like an
animal was trapped in there that was gnawing and gnawing to get free. Now and then it growled, as though in desperation. "Here," said her brother, passing her something in the dark. "A hunk of dry bread."
I saved a bit from this morning. She wanted to tell him he shouldn't, that he ought to eat it himself, that he needed it just as much as she. You could see the bones under his skin. "Thank you," she said,
Accepting the crust of bread that was so hard to chew, she had to soften it up with saliva. "Hansel? Yes? Do you think things will get better soon?" Every night he got the same question, and every night he answered yes.
And he answered,
And here is the original again.
"Just yes." Like there was nothing to be discussed. Of course things would get better. It was silly of her to ask. Times had been hard.
To a family for quite a while.
So once again I say that I think the AI voices sounds much better than the original voice. If that is because the original voice is in UK, English UK, and the other voices are in US, I don't know, but I think the other voices are better. Maybe the Bella voice is not as good as the others, but all the others I think are better than the original voice actually in this example. With that we can discuss actually how this will change the industry. This is a very hot potato here in Sweden because a lot of comments says that this will take the job from the real narrators. When these AI voices are so good, then a lot of people using the Storytel service says that this will make all those not having any job anymore. But I don't agree actually, because these voices are very, very good, and at least for now we have the choice of the original and all these voices to choose from. Then it means you can choose a voice that fits you better than the other. I think that's a great feature. But even in the future, if Storytel will have books with only AI voices instead of real voices, I think that's better, because these books would probably not have an audiobook versions no matter what, if that was not possible. Because when you have an AI voice, it's a very cheap production to have an AI voice instead of a real human talking. So that means that smaller companies, smaller book companies will be able to have audiobooks too, because the AI voices are cheaper. And also, so for example here in Sweden, a very popular human narrator is Jonas Malmsjö. Let's say that Jonas Malmsjö will talk in to be an AI voice in Storytel, then he will simply be paid for every book that uses his AI voice. So when you're listening with his voice, he will be paid royalties for that voice. So I still don't think that this will be bad for real human narrators, because they can be an AI voice in Storytel instead. That means that you could choose, for example, Jonas Malmsjö for every book in the future in the Storytel library. That would be awesome, because if you love Jonas Malmsjö, then you can have him for every book instead of having some bad human narrated voices for some books. So then you have the possibility to choose from different very famous narrators in Storytel instead. So I believe this could be a possibility for all these human narrators instead. They will still earn a lot of money because they will have royalties paid for them when we use their voices. That is my opinion. So I don't think that this will hurt the industry so much as many says in the comments. And for now, this is only available for some English titles. Hopefully this will be for a lot of different languages too in the future, but I think it will be hard to get as good AI narrators for different languages. For example, my language, Swedish. Then I think it will be not as good, because not even Google, not even Apple has made some Siri voices for Sweden, not as good as the American US voices. The US voices are always much better than the Siri voices for Swedish. So I think it will be hard for Storytel to have great AI narrators for other languages than English, sadly so, but that is also my own reflections of this. But we will see in the future. I think we have a lot of different books now to choose from in English to listen to AI narrators. And I think that is a great opportunity and a great feature for Storytel. So that's about what I think of this. Then you can now tell me in the comments what you think of AI narrators, AI voices in the future. Okay, bye.